A pump, pump, a pump, pump, a pump, a pump, pump it up. Just play pump, pump, pump it up. Yo, 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 how we feeling? How we doing out there? All right, let me bring it down a little bit because I'm a little hyped because I just had me a cup of Joe, but not a cup of Joe Budden. For the song I was singing, it was a song that came out back in the 2000s by Joe Budden. Some people consider him a one-hit wonder. It's a crazy song, still gets played to this day at arenas all over the country. And although he did make other projects, some people were like, oh, okay, well, he's still a one-hit wonder. But still, that's one hit more than most of us have, right? So, but he's become, for those of you who don't know, has become extremely influential in the podcast space. So, he started, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago. And I know he switched co-hosts from Rory and Maul to the Ice-ish and, of course, the still beautiful Melissa Ford that he has on there now. So what I was looking at overnight was they were talking about how some of his Patreon information got leaked. And for those of you who don't know, what happens is that on YouTube, you can get a Patreon account, which is almost like a GoFundMe, except it's for your subscribers, where they can, buy subscriptions, $5 a month, $10 a month. And with that, they get to see exclusive content. So it's a little bit different than just how you and I are with just regular YouTube. You have to actually get a membership to the actual Patreon that allows you to see things that may come out early or may be more salacious, that just come through the Patreon after you pay for your subscription. So a lot of the information that he had, and a lot of it was blurted out, but of course with the internet, people find a way to find it out. But anyway, it was showing that he has over 30 million views every month just on his Patreon. So it doesn't include his YouTube AdSense revenue. It doesn't include anything else. And we're talking about solely Patreon. So his Patreon numbers, they're saying, are over $900,000 per month. $900,000 per month. So if we do some quick math, that's about what? I don't know, maybe 10 million a year, 10.8 million a year, something like that. So, but a lot of money just off of one source of revenue. So you start to think to yourself, like, well, how did this get out? Why would it get out? But the bigger deal is that because a couple of the guys, Ice and Ish, he brought on happened to be friends of his previous to him becoming a podcaster, or at least to this extent. So friends in business, does it ever work out? Rarely. But I can see, I guess, if money is flowing in and people are happy, then it works out. But what if you had a friend that was getting $900,000 a month, and best believe he built it, so he deserves it. But he's getting $900,000 a month, and so claims are is that and I've watched DJ Academics, shout out to him, Poetic Flacco, shout out to him also, that they could be making anywhere from $5,000, the co-host that is, $5,000 to $10,000 a month. But you see that your boss / friend is making $900,000 a month just off of Patreon, off of one source, not including everything else. So the reason why that's also big is because you have to go and you have to do the content with him. It's not like he's just sitting there like me by himself, sitting looking, talking for a few minutes. No, he's having hours-long conversations with his different co-hosts to try to bring in that revenue, to try to make it an interesting concept of back and forth feedback, dialogue, agreement, disagreement, so that way people have various perspectives on there. And then also, I think it was a great look that he finally brought a woman on, and especially a woman like a Melissa Ford, who a lot of guys I know from my era grew up fawning over, thinking that, oh my God, she's, so hot. And she still is a very, very good looking woman. So she gets to bring a female perspective. They don't let her talk as much, but still, overall. So I'm thinking, wow, And it could be something that goes on behind closed doors because I've watched the Joe Budden podcast a lot. I watch the clips that come on YouTube. I'm not a Patreon member, but other YouTubers give their opinion on it. And then I look at it and when I watch it, and it does seem like sometimes some of the co-hosts may be a little disgruntled about certain things. I know money has come up before because this isn't the first time. Like I was saying earlier, when I used to watch it years ago, he had it with these other two co-hosts, Rory and Maul. And then I started to see the same thing where the co-hosts started to become a little angry. It appeared, or not as engaged. It appeared. And then it did eventually come out was that Joe was getting so much money and he was not breaking down, or at least they felt like they should have had a bigger stake in whatever it is that they were doing. So a couple of things and how it's relative to many of us out here who are not making $900,000 a month from one source. How do you treat your friends? How do you do business with your friends? Have you ever done business with your friends before? And I tell you, sometimes it has been an awesome experience. And then sometimes it's been a putrid experience. Because the problem with why they say don't do business with friends or family is because before any business took place, you already had love for this person. You already had a certain kind of respect and feeling about this person. But once again, and like we talked about earlier this week, even with Jay and Dame, money can cause severe issues because money is something that we all need, right? To keep going. So if I feel like you're my friend, you're my family member, you should want me to have the same type of money that you have. And we get it. If you're the boss, I'm not saying I need as much as you, but I want to have some nice things on kind of that level. And I want to feel as though I'm making progress in my life, and especially who else would look out for me more than my family or my friend? Or at least that's what we think. But unfortunately, a lot of times these things go wrong because let's just give it for instance. Say, because I used to sell cars, right? So say, you say to a friend of yours, hey, listen, you know what? Both of us are going to get a car. We're pitching on this car. You put up 1,000, I put up 1,000, and we sell the car. Cool. We both make a split. We both do such and such. Then we go do it again. Then we do it again. Except now the stakes are higher, and maybe the license is in my name. So of course, maybe I get more of the money because I got to pay out, monthly things for the license. But now I don't know or realize that this other person that's been doing it with me feels slighted because they're not getting this bigger piece of the pie. And then it goes on. And then the next thing I may hear about it from somebody else, or then boom, finally it comes to a head. You're taking too much of the money. I feel like I'm entitled to do such and such and such and such. Then right there, the friendship has become affected. Right then and there is a break in the friendship because no matter how much you mend it, now you got to go into defense mode. You got to start thinking to yourself, and you can think several different ways. This person is money hungry. This person really doesn't understand. Why did I even get into business with this person? And now, because in most cases, like I said, we don't have people that get a chance to debate or argue over $900,000 a month just from one source. Most times when people are doing business, especially starting off with friends and family, they're small numbers, but they mean something to each person. So even if we have a $3,000 or $4,000 deal on the table, those extra $400 or $500 or $600 mean a lot to the other person in this deal. They mean a lot. So now this friendship turns fractured because of money. And it's not as easy as just to go back and say, hey, look, let me think about it. We all gonna link up out at the cookout. You know what I'm saying? All of the homies together and link up out at the cookout. And I feel like, or you feel like I shorted you out of some money, and you know what I'm saying? And we still eating burgers together. No, it doesn't work like that. It's a hard pill to swallow. Like, it hurts. And you know, the thing with money is that everybody knows one thing about money. Money is going to be what? Money is needed to live and spent. How you choose to spend your money, how they choose to spend their money, two totally different concepts or the way that you look at it, but whatever. But the fact is that when the money comes in, everybody wants to feel like they're a part of that money. They want to feel like they have dibs on that money in any type of a business partnership. They want to feel like they have parts of that. And now we're just using the Joe Budden thing, like I said, because that's what just came out yesterday. And, you know, I'm pretty sure, you know, I don't know whether he leaked it, wanted it to be leaked, but I'm pretty sure if I'm only making $10,000 a month and you're using me with content or for content and you pulling in $900,000 a month just off memberships that I'm a part of, sitting on a couch on a podcast, you know, giving my stuff and bouncing stuff off of you and my opinions, then oh yeah, it doesn't matter what the contract is. Especially, see, because it's one of those things, how we talk about the red pill or the blue pill. See, when you got the blue pill and life is just going all along, and you know, you just think to yourself, oh, you know what, guess what? I'm getting $5,000, I'm getting $10,000 a month, I'm getting whatever. You feel okay. But what happens when you find out, yo, this boy been making all of this bread and I had no idea? So even in regular life with people, yo, I've been in business with this dude all this time, cutting lawns, doing whatever, and I didn't realize that he's charging Miss Josie and Miss Betty and Mr. John. He's really charging him $50 a lawn, but he's only telling me $25 a lawn, and so I'm only getting paid $12.50 per lawn when this other guy is getting X amount of dollars. See, it's different when somebody's totally transparent with you, because then you can make the decision to say, hey, listen, what is my value to this service? So if my value is, if I'm thinking that I'm getting paid half because of the value, then that's what I want. But I don't want to know that you're really only giving me a quarter, 25%. You're taking 75%. But we're both doing this together. Now, like I said, Joe, he's the, you know, it's his show, it's his situation, it's his podcast and everything. But when people are given their time, because it is a collaboration, you have to always take into account how you pay people, how you deal with people, how you do business with people, even on a regular level. Because that's really what this is about, even on a regular level. Like a lot of times, especially, you know, in our community, we don't want to pay people for their advice. We don't want to pay people for their expertise. We just want the knowledge, and that's cool. We should not be gatekeepers and give people certain knowledge. But when a play comes up, or when somebody strikes it and makes money off of it, they don't ever want to come back around and say, hey, yo, man, I appreciate that advice. I just made $2,000 today. Hey, man, I'm going to send you $100. I'm going to send you $75. I'm going to look out for you, because you know what? Without that guidance and information, I might not have went that route, because I know that's what I do. I feel like I'm a good tipper when it comes down to people. I feel like, you know, if I get X amount or whatever, you know, I have no problem saying, hey, listen, even if it's something small, minor, hey, look, you want to go such and such? Hey, man, I already got your ticket. Hey, you want to do this? Hey, I already did that for you. I got you. And it does. Sometimes it does. It becomes frustrating when, you know, you try to do the right thing by people, but sometimes when it comes back around, after they strike a pot of gold, they forget that you were one of the people with the shovel digging. But hey, that's just one guy's opinion. What would you do? Would you ask Joe Budden for a raise, or would you just be content with your ever you're getting per month? But who knows? Maybe he is going to give him a raise. Maybe that's why it was leaked. Who knows? But hey, just like anything, we'll find out soon enough. But what you need to do is, if you got some business going on with a friend or something, break them down properly. Remember, live life. Don't let life live you.